Hello and welcome. My name is Aaron Selmer, Director for Instructional Technology, and I'm here today to talk a little bit about CrisisGo, which is the district's new health safety certification platform. It offers both a web-based experience as well as mobile applications if that's something you prefer. This is something that all staff are already doing before they enter the building, and this is something that students are going to be being scanned and certified before they can enter the building too. So first things first, let's talk about what this process actually looks like and what you need to do as a parent or guardian. This is an example of an email that you're going to get every morning for your student or students for you to certify their safety status to enter the building. If you'd rather, you can use a mobile application. You can download it on both the iPhone and the Android stores. You can create a login and then you can use that to certify your students every morning. If you don't want to worry about that, don't worry about that. Feel free to just use the email and a web browser. In this particular case, I'm just going to use the web browser, so all I need to do is click this blue report button. It's going to bring me to the CrisisGo certification page. You'll notice in the upper right-hand corner, you have the option to select different languages. Once you do this, the next day, CrisisGo will continue to remember which language you've selected. Please read the 3 questions carefully and answer truthfully if your student has had any of these symptoms. In this particular case, the sample student has not experienced or exhibited any of these symptoms, so I'm going to select no, and then I'm going to click submit. This next page shows that we have successfully certified the student. You can also see this because the QR code that it's displaying is green. For older students who have their own mobile phones, they can go ahead and use this to certify as they enter in the building. But for students who don't have mobile phones or would just rather not use their mobile phones, we will be providing ID tags that they can use daily for the buildings to scan entry. As they approach a building, a scanner will go ahead and scan their QR code or their ID tag, and it will allow the building to see if the student has been certified safe to enter in the building. Now, let's talk a little bit more about what the process is going to look like.
When the students enter, you'll notice they're still 6 feet apart. This student is going to enter. He will have done his wellness screening before and will have his little QR code. He's going to come into the person, scan it. Great, he's green. I'm going to take his temperature. Great job, young man. And he's going to enter the school. When he moves, the next student will come in. Hi, show me your scanner. Lift up your computer, turn it around. I'm going to scan. Great job. She's green. Come here, honey. Take your temperature. Perfect, she's green. Go on in. And now we'll continue as the students continue to enter through the door.
As I mentioned, as a student arrives to school, their ID tag will be scanned. On the first day that the students re-enter the building, they will not have this ID tag. The buildings have plans in place in order to get students entered through CrisisGo and then hand out ID tags. The ID tags come with a loop and they can be secured to such things as backpacks so the students won't forget them in the future. When a scanner scans the barcode, they can see if the student's been certified by you or another parent or guardian. And if it says that they're clear to enter in the building, their temperature will be taken and then they'll go about their day as they normally would. Now, there's a couple other scenarios that could happen here. So the first one is, what happens if a student doesn't certify? Maybe a particular morning you were running late and you forgot to certify the student. Well, when they enter in the building, their ID tag will still be scanned, but the system will show that the student hasn't been certified. They'll be escorted to a dedicated isolation room, and the school will then attempt to contact you or another parent guardian in order to certify your student. Once the student has been certified that day, they can return to class as normal. What happens if you answer yes to any of the questions? Well, if you're unable to answer no to all of the questions, that means you shouldn't send your student to school. Additionally, please reach out to your building and let them know that you needed to answer yes for one of the questions. They're going to have more information to give you afterwards, explaining the process for making sure that we can clear the student to return to school. What happens if a student doesn't have any signs or symptoms? They get certified, they enter the building, but then they read that they're running a temperature. In this particular case, the student will be immediately escorted to the dedicated isolation place, and the parent guardian will be contacted to pick up your student immediately. Much like the previous one, the building will also provide you different steps that you need to take to get your student cleared to return to in-person learning. To recap, CrisisGo is a web-based and application-based software that allows schools to simply, securely, and quickly certify the health status of staff and students returning to in-school learning. An email will be sent out daily to parents reminding them to certify the health status of the students. Parents can also use a mobile application if they prefer. Or you can just use the email and use a web browser to certify your student in 3 simple questions. We hope this was informative. If your student is not returning for hybrid, you should not receive this email. If your student is returning to hybrid, you should receive this email starting the first day that they are returning. Thank you very much, and as always, please reach out if you have any questions.